Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Hardcore Dave.
And this is Spies, Lies, and Allies. Episode 16 recap, Riverdance. What's it called? Riverdance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a weird name.
Riverdance is it Scottish or Irish? Where they like fucking dance.
Feel like it's Irish.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
They're gonna hate it. Either one. The Scottish are like, fuck you, it's not Scottish, it's Irish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the Irish will be like, fuck you, why can't it be Scottish or something? I don't know. I hear they hate each other. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because everyone else are like, you guys are the same people. Like, I don't see a difference.
Yeah, you guys are the Asians of whites. Like, you don't gotta bring that up. Go ahead.
Oh, that's funny.
Stop the hate. Okay, so this episode was viewed by 0.71, which is, I need to tell you, tied for the most views of the season.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say tied for the worst.
No.
Bad.
This was watched by many, so there you go. I don't know if you have any notes yourself. I just go right to the mission. Do you have any sort of in-the-house sort of storylines?
No. Let's go to your notes.
Yes, because how small these notes are. All it says is $1 million heist, where the Emerald wins, Ruby gets second. So basically, let's explain this mission. It looks kind of cool, I guess, to see $1 million in fake money, but like, you know, you see that shit in movies, so it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you could suspend the disbelief or whatever. But when it comes down to it, it's like, is it all about the two people that lift the money? You know what I mean? Like, because there was only 2 bags per team, no matter what.
Yeah, but it came down to, like, the teams with the most amount of people were going to win because they had more helping hands. So that way you had a person with the bag and a person taking money out of the safe. And then like the 5th person was it Emerald, who had 5 people, then they can just grab the money that like falls onto the ground and they can help out there. Where like CT's team, where they only got 3 people, he's at a huge disadvantage because you don't have as many hands. You're taking it out of the safe and throwing it into the bag, and you gotta fill those bags up as much as possible.
It's true. Yeah, I think someone said Amanda did really good at organizing that little. Yeah, maybe she's just like, oh my god, I remember having to pack our bags in the night because Daddy was too drunk and we had to run away or something like that. I don't know. It's very dark.
It's like an Ashley Mitchell type of thing, not Amanda.
That's true. Yeah, Amanda's just like, she's like, oh, I read that in Ashley's diary. All right. Okay. The other thing I have to say is, so this was a lot of endurance. You know what I mean? Like, you could boil it down to like how much you pack a duffel bag, but it's like it was grueling for those carriers, you know. And you were going back and forth to those vehicles, you know, up and down the beach. I just remember Devin kind of getting tired.
Oh yeah, he gassed out for sure.
Yeah. Do you smell blood in the water, Dave?
For Devin, like he can try to get to a final, but I have zero faith in him in a final. Like,
oh shit, zero faith.
Yeah, when it comes to speed and endurance, you remember when they did that? It was kind of like a mini final, and Devin got eliminated that season because he had like the slowest time. There was only maybe like 5 guys left and 5 girls left, or something like that.
I think it was like Vendettas.
Yeah, because like Devin was the slowest guy time, and I think like, was it Jemmy was the slowest for the girls? I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that, where they had to like climb up a mountain or slide down a thing. Yeah, it was like a blood bath or a
Yeah,
purge. Yeah, it was a
yeah.
purge.
And I know like Devin's in far better shape now. He seems to work out more. I think he has a lot more strength, but endurance wise, we're not seeing that.
No shit. But they still won. So
Yeah,
maybe he's just like,
he had the
yeah.
most people on his team. It helps.
He also, I think he said, like, I never gave up, though, did I? Because I think Nelson calls him out on it and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I love how Nelson calls out Devin on shit. And like, I really like Devin a lot. He's my favorite. But anytime Nelson calls out Devin, I always tend to agree with Nelson. We're like, yeah, you're kind of right, Nelson.
Okay, so what was I gonna say? Oh, remember Big T jumped into the wrong car,
Yeah.
and like he was just like, "God damn it, Big T!" Like Tori lost her shit. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
They were so mean to her. It was like, it doesn't even matter. Like, who cares? Just tell her to get out. This, you know. But instead, she's like, she just kept railing on her. And it was just like, it doesn't even matter. Like,
written down. Let's get on to the elimination where it's License to Chill, where Emmy defeats Big T. Big T calls out Emmy. What they have to do is they have to every once in a while, TJ honks the horn, right? And then they have to jump through the cold ass icy water, pop out the other side, and then go back, and then work a puzzle, right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Big T was pretty confident because she's better at puzzles, you know. But you know what? They didn't consider CT choosing favorites. Yeah. Although they did sort of have a wall in between them. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
It wasn't enough for CT not to see certain pieces. You know, I don't think he saw all of it, but he knew enough. He was just coaching. He's like, start from the outside and work your way in or something like that, right? And I think Big T did the opposite or whatever, but he was totally cheering on Emmy over his previous season #1 partner, Big T. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd you feel about this?
I don't know.
Were you
Like,
like, oh my
it's one of those
God.
things where I don't like that they're able to like help and coach with a puzzle like that. I get it. Like, if you're like putting a bunch of like those long like poles and you're climbing up a giant ladder structure and someone's like giving you advice on how to do it, where they're like, you know, hold that with your left hand and then, you know, step up with your right. But when you actually have a puzzle and there's 6 puzzle pieces and you're trying to fit them together, having someone just like, hey, move that piece out of there. All right, put that on the ground. Grab that other piece, put it over there. Like, that's against the spirit of a puzzle. A puzzle is you have to kind of figure it out yourself. So like, I feel like there should have been even bigger wall between them because I don't like the other people being able to help out.
Yeah,
However, even though CT was helping out, it didn't seem to really be helping Emmy that much because Emmy still couldn't figure it out. And she was kind of just sitting there struggling and struggling and struggling. And then all of a sudden she just had it. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so Emmy does defeat Big T, and it's so funny because afterwards it came out in other interviews and shit like that where they're like, Big T actually really resented Emmy because of her and CT's relationship, where she's like, oh my God, last year it was me and CT, and now I'm nothing, you know what I mean? So, and apparently one drunken night, as it always happens, she sang back Emmy's song "Alien" to her, but like with insults instead. So she like weird Al'd it up.
So awesome. That song was terrible, and somebody needed to make fun of it. Good for Big T.
Oh man, I wonder what she said. I can't even begin to parody "I'm an Alien." What's a replacement word for that? Elian Gonzalez, Cuban refugee, or no, wait, that's not how it goes. Anyways, Emmy does win, and she rejoins Sapphire for Uncle CT. On to episode 17, man. We're blazing through this. right?
All right,
This is
let's
good
do it.
stuff.
Yeah, so
Episode
we will also mention that Big T goes home for the second time. She's already been eliminated once, but then they're like, "Oh, come on back," because we can't see. Like, it annoyed the shit out of me, and it was totally
This just
pointless.
happened. This just happened like 2 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, episode 17, Drop Dead. And this episode, I gotta mention, it was watched by 0.68. It's tied for the second most viewed episode of the season. So these are, it's doing pretty
Wow,
good. There must be
challenge is
some
back.
excitement. Yeah, woo. It's still not breaking 1 million. It's actually still kind of piss poor. But these particular episodes, within context of the season, is pretty good. So yeah, there you go. Before I get into the mission, let's talk about the fact that CT is going to be in a movie, Dave, with
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oscar nominee Tom Berenger in a remake of what is it called? Oh shit, I don't remember what it's called. The Deadliest Game, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't remember what it was. It was like the $1 Million Man, the Bionic Man, the Deadly Game.
Yeah, and from what I could tell, it's about a guy getting hunted by other people for sport.
Yeah.
I thought, have you ever seen Ice-T's movie, Surviving the Game, with like
Maybe.
Gary Busey?
Yeah, I think I've seen part of it. Because I know,
not Big T. Ice-T's got dreads.
yeah, because I know I've seen this Deadly Game movie before. Because like, isn't it public domain? Because it came out like, or the original story or whatever is public domain, so anybody can kind of use this blueprint for a movie. Because it seems like I think if you Wikipedia, there's a different version of this movie like every 8 to 10 years or something.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Apparently, it is a very old movie and stuff. But they have. I don't know. What's interesting to me is that all the promotion, not necessarily for challenge fans, but all the promotion of the movie in other websites, almost all have CT in the photo, in the promo. So, and it's said that he's supposed to be like one of the hunters or whatever, but I don't know the movie, but maybe he's like one of the hunters is like, no, this isn't right, before he's about to like kill the guy and he turns good or something like that. You know what I mean? I think that's what's going to happen. They're like, CT in this first half of the movie, we want you to act like a goddamn asshole, like kind of like your first 8 seasons of the challenge, before you got kicked off for beating the shit out of Adam, right? So you're gonna play him like that. He's like, okay, yeah, smash his head needed, right? And you're like, yeah, smash his head needed. Of course, Chris, just go. You know what I mean? And then in the second half, they're like, Chris, we need you to play it like when you got back on Rivals 1, and all of a sudden you were the good guy, and you were charismatic, and you know what I mean? You were funny and shit like that. And you got, the DM thing and the dad bod eventually. Play that for the second half of the movie. Yeah. That's how I would direct him. Anyways.
I thought he was going to be the person that was getting hunted.
Me too. But he's a hunter. And I just got to say this. I think he goes good. I think he's going to be like the surprise good guy. Yeah.
I feel like as a hunter, his role is going to be very small. He's only going to have like 3 minutes of screen time.
Really? Shit. Okay.
I hope not.
Yeah. I hope not either, but yeah.
I wanted him to be the person being hunted because that person's going to have the most screen time. I wanted it to be the CT show,
Yeah, that's true. But the reason why I think he'll be okay is because, like I said, in all the promotion, in any website you check out that movie, it has a picture of CT. They could have put up the actual person that's being hunted, but they haven't. And Tom Berenger, who is the #1 A-lister in the movie, it's already been said that he's playing some like deranged dude living in the forest that survived one of the games once, and now he's just nuts in the woods.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So
Okay.
I swear to God, CT is gonna do a face flip, a face change. What is it called?
Face turn.
Face turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So when does this movie come out?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Oh my god. It's probably gonna be on like Apple TV or some streaming service I don't have.
Yeah.
You ever hear that? Like you hear about a show and you're like, oh, that sounds really good. I want to watch that. And it's like, what? Oh, Apple TV. Oh, I don't have that. What the hell?
Yeah. Same thing with Sunny. They have that new show that they make, and that's on Apple TV. I'm like,
Really?
or I mean, maybe worth it, but Rob McElhoney. Ah.
McElhoney.
All right, let's get on with the episode. Holy shit! The mission is called Drop Dead. This is where Sapphire wins. Basically, CT wins. This is the one where they have to like go on that balance beam, and everyone has like this little bean bag. It doesn't seem very heavy. It doesn't seem as effective, right?
No. Well, it's super effective to some people because
Yeah, it's true.
they just flinch and they flail and then they fall off or they like try to dive out of the way. And I'm just like, why don't they just like catch it and throw it back or swat it out of the way? And then that's what we see. Like, I don't even remember who was doing it. It was it Devin or CT or some of the people? What's that guy's
CT
name?
was
Logan might have been doing that.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's crazy though because like I think eventually Kyle stops trying. Emmy maybe does it once, and CT just does the rest all by himself. And it was like this awesome, reminder that CT is like a special talent. He always has that moment in him where he just pulls off this immaculate feat of strength where you're like, I didn't know people could do that. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know people could do this. It seems possible. But the fact that he did it all himself was the great part,
Yeah, yes and no. See, okay.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, and I agree. However, in this situation, it came down to it was a tie because they both got like the 7 canisters or whatever, and then it comes down to who did it in the fastest amount of time. So it was like, well, CT has 2 partners, but then the other team has 3 partners who weren't doing anything. So CT only had 2 deadbeats on his team, while the other team had 3 deadbeats on their team.
Yes.
So
I'm ready to swap this down.
CT's time is going to be better because he doesn't have another person slowing them down.
Right, but like I said earlier, though, Emmy only goes like one time. Kyle eventually stops, and then it's just CT going back and forth. They should, like Devin, the other guys, they should have done that. Like, choose one person to go, like Logan or something like that. You know what I mean? Or, no, that was on Ruby, I think. But either way, I think CT laid the groundwork right there just by saying, I'll just fucking go the entire time. That was an open play.
I guess, but like to me, that goes against the rule, or like the rules of the game should be you have to do it as a team.
Yeah, I think everyone did it at least once, and it also might have been one of those situations where like producers are too scared to like pipe up and say like, actually, CT, we don't. Never mind.
Yeah,
they're like intimidated. They're just like, fuck, whatever.
Yeah. Because the problem is the teams are uneven, and they don't want to just say, okay, 2 people on that team have to sit out, 1 person on that team has to sit out. They don't want to do that. So instead we have, I don't know. These games don't really seem to work all that well when you have different numbers of people on each team.
It really doesn't. Yeah. But Amanda and Nani were terrible. Do you remember that? They could barely climb the ladder back up. At least
I know. They're just like standing on it and they're like pulling with their arms. And I'm like, it's a fucking ladder. Use your legs. Like, your arms are just for balance. You're not pulling yourself up. You're just using your legs and then come on. You gotta use some lower body strength here, ladies.
Yeah. At this point, I expect Amanda to perform like that, but it is a good reminder that Nani performs that way as well, even though she seems to have more clout. Yeah. Oh my God, we're near the end, Dave. This is nothing to us. The elimination is going to be called Rocket Run, where you got to like jump over a rocket, turn a switch, jump over that rocket again, turn a switch again within 15 seconds. But before we start that, who did you think Logan was going to choose? Because
I thought
it
he was
took me
going to
by
choose
surprise.
Devin. I'm like, Devin is screwed. Like,
yeah.
I remember seeing like Devin's face, like, and he's just got like this stare on his face, and it's like game time. Like Devin feels like he's going to go in. You could tell with the look on his face, but he didn't. Like he calls out Emmanuel, and I was shocked by it because I was like, I feel like Devin is the better matchup for sure. And like at the same time, like I don't think nobody really knew what they were going to have to do. You just see these two rockets down there and then a box with a switch on it, but like you don't know what you have to do. And okay, Vince, is this not one of the laziest eliminations you've ever seen? Like they're like, "Hey, run and jump over this and then flick that switch and then run back and do it in 15 seconds." Well, like, well, it only takes like 7 or 8 seconds if you're going full speed to do that.
Right.
So eventually PJ's like, okay, now do it in 10 seconds.
No, it was lazy. It was in a way I like the idea of something that's timed and endurance speed. So maybe if they had to do it in a circle and they had to always beat each other and the time would get shorter or something like that. I don't know. But just the way it was put, it was like, I could have done this. I was like, hey, jump over those fucking picnic tables.
Yeah.
That was more realistic, right? Yeah, jump over those picnic tables, press a thing, come back here. Yeah. Yeah, that would definitely be like, you would be like, Vince, what the fuck, man? I'm not doing this shit.
Like, what they could have done to make it more interesting would be if they had it on some kind of jack system where they could raise it up 3 inches every turn. So every turn it's 3 inches higher. So then you're like, oh shit, like who can jump higher? Who's going to be able to do it? Because you're going to reach a certain point where they're struggling to get over.
I like that. That's awesome.
That, to me, I'm thinking of that watching it. I'm like, that would be the best option. But
yeah, Logan might have stood a chance. I thought he looked significantly taller. Emmanuel is, I don't know. He's freaky looking, and he's always like, "Oh my God, everyone's scared to face me and shit." Like this guy's talking mad shit. I just gotta say that. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
He talks a lot of shit, but like he's like hanging out with Tori all the time, and he's sleeping in her bed all the time. So his confidence is just off the charts right now. You even see earlier in the episode that Emmanuel and Tori are both like on towels or blankets in the lawn of the house, and they're just like laying next to each other. And I'm like, and they got pillows out there that have a whole setup, and I'm like, did they get kicked out of their room for being too noisy, or do they go out there for privacy, or like what's happening here?
I wish I could get kicked out of a room because Tori and I are effing too hard.
Yeah. Take it outside, Vince.
Get out of here. All right. Well, hey, Emmanuel defeats Logan. It was crazy though, because remember Logan tripped and then he didn't even bother to get up. I feel like he had that time. He had time to get up and press the button.
Yeah, it seemed like he kind of just gave up, which was unfortunate.
Okay, so then TJ's like, hold on, well, no, he lets Logan leave. And then he's like, Emmanuel, just join the group, join the people. we're going to have a night of eliminations, and by the end of the night, 2 more players will be gone. The end. First of all, fucking dumb. I hate the fact that we just had elimination. Now we're going to have a bunch. First, Emmanuel's screwed, right? He might be totally worn out, you know?
Or he might be safe and not have to go in, which would
possibly
not necessarily be fair, because if you're going to do another elimination, everyone should be up for nominations.
Yeah. It's just announcing that right after an elimination is so weird to me. It's weird timing.
It is. And it's strange. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how they play it out. But like, is the agency with CT and Kyle, are they safe still, or is it going to be possible for them to go in?
I'm thinking we're looking at a purge. Yeah, where like everyone's going to go in. In fact, I had the idea that is since it's 5 men and 5 women left, it's just going to be like 5, like a 5-person melee for each gender. So yeah.
Oh, like a battle royale.
Yeah, exactly. The what is it called? The Hell in a Cell. No, what's the one with the chambers?
Royal Rumble. Oh, Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like a 5-man and 5-woman elimination. Maybe they'll all have to jump over that same goddamn rocket, Dave. I don't know. It'll be a whole night of that. That's going to be.
Oh God. I could see it being where they have a giant rope and then they tie everyone there. They clip them to the rope, and then it's like, okay, whoever is the last person to get out of the circle. Because remember that it was Nelson, Kyle, and Corey, or Nelson and Corey and somebody.
Yeah, those 2 for sure. God damn it! Who else was in there? Shane? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Shane. Yeah, maybe Shane. Yeah, I think it was Shane.
And then the females was like Amanda, Ashley, and Nicole, maybe?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Shit. Well, either way, I don't know. I just feel like it's really bizarre to have this happen right after we had an official elimination. It's like, what was the point of winning if just to avoid that one elimination? Like, what the fuck? They should have. I don't know. It's just rubs me the wrong way for sure.
Yeah, and also Emmanuel, he was not given the option to choose a different team. TJ told him specifically, go back to your cell, join your teammates' list. So I feel like it should be the 2 teams, which is like Sapphire and Emerald, who have the most players on it. Like each of those teams needs to lose a player or something,
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's the next episode. Hopefully, we'll see a bit of the final after that. Who knows?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like this next episode will probably have whatever elimination thing that they're going to do. 2 people will go home. And then after that, they're just going to be like, okay, everyone in the house will be celebrating that they're going to a final. And then maybe they'll go to another location. And then TJ is going to come in and he's going to tell them, all right, here are the rules for the final. And then maybe we see like, the last 10 minutes of the episode or something could be part of a final.
Okay, so final 5 girls and final 5 guys in elimination. Who do you feel is going to be eliminated out of those 5? For the guys, we have CT, Nelson, Devin, Emmanuel, and who else is there? Who's the other dude? Fuck. Kyle.
Yeah.
I think Devin's screwed.
Yeah, I think Devin. And for the girls, I know immediately who's screwed.
Amanda. Yeah.
No, Nani.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, That's close. It could be
I
Amanda.
kind of want to say yes. It's between her and Amanda for sure.
I feel like Nani has had the most protected game this season. She hasn't had to do shit.
Oh shit!
Because Casey,
No, she had a.
Casey's just been protecting her.
Hey, relationships are work as well, Dave.
That's true.
And if you don't know that by now, Dave, expect yourself to be lonely and single.
Prepare yourself for a surprise.
All right, man. Well, you know what? That's a good time as any to stop. Like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
And Hardcore Dave.